What's up, guys? So today, what we're going to be doing is some research on the Ouija board. Now, this is a quick little disclaimer, quick little warning that in no way, shape, or form is this video intended for everyone or intended for children. This video is going to be a darker video for sure, as I'm going to be not only reading the rules and guidelines of a Ouija board, but I'm also going to be reading some terrifying stories and encounters that people have had with and after using a Ouija board. So, if you are easily triggered or scared and are not wanting to be watching a video like this, then I apologize and I suggest you click off now. But with that being said, let's get started. So, we're going to start off by reading the rules and guidelines. I'm on paranormal.lovetoknow.com. This has some of the Ouija board's written rules that usually come with a Ouija board. So number 1, set the board either on the player's laps or on a table between two players. If there are additional players, they can take notes and act as scribes. Put the planchette on the wooden board, letter side up, in the center. Both players place fingertips lightly on the planchette. The planchette is the little thing that goes on the Ouija board that you use to guide to like the letters and the symbols and such. I have it, it's just over there. Number 4, everyone should concentrate. Number 5, take turns asking questions, but everyone needs to agree and focus on the question. Speak slowly and clearly. And number 6, wait for the Ouija board to answer. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is a lot of, seems like you have to do it with a few people, and I've read some things that say that it helps like connect better with the spirits and such. It forms a better connection and like a better like gateway to be able to communicate with them. But it also says that you can do it by yourself and alone. So, which is probably what I'm going to be doing. I think I might be doing that part alone. I think I'm going to have Brandon film it. But I think I'm going to be, when I do it in the next video, which I'm pretty sure is happening, pretty sure I'm going to be talking to it alone, which is going to be interesting. Unwritten rules of Ouija and spirit boards. Okay, so this might be interesting. Take using the board seriously, which I'm sure I will be. I've seen one too many scary movies, them being my favorite movies. And a lot of people tend to take it as a joke and as if certain things don't actually happen, but honestly, I don't know. So take using the board seriously. Like the electronic voice phenomenon or a pendulum, the Ouija board is a tool used to communicate with spirits. When you initiate spirit communication, always take it seriously because you never know who you might contact. Enter into a Ouija board session mindfully, much like you would if you were about to conduct a seance. Sorry. Be sober. Don't mix. No, sorry guys. That's the end of the series right now. Live like if you enjoy it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't mix your spirits. Everyone should be sober. Don't use the Ouija board at a party with alcohol or drugs, and don't use it as a lark or in a joking manner. So a lot of what I'm reading has to do with respect and respecting just the spirits in general, which I understand, of course. If what I'm reading about is, accurate and everything, these are spirits that are at rest, hopefully. Hopefully if I do end up contacting a spirit and getting a good connection, that it's not a like demonic presence, or I don't even know if that's how it works, if it contacts like spirits, because I know there's a difference between like a spirit and like a demon, and try to explain what I mean, but there are differences, and I'm not sure exactly what you can contact with a Ouija board, but I'm hoping it's a good experience. Assign one person to ask the questions, which is gonna be me. No matter how many people are in the room, assign one person as the official questioner. This way, any spirits connecting through the Ouija board know when to answer, since sometimes a session with a lot of people can get chaotic, with everyone suggesting questions to ask. The questioner should be one of the 2 people with the fingertips on the planchette. Don't play with children present. Ironically, although the Ouija board is sold as a game, it's not a game for children. Or on the side of caution, and don't involve children in Ouija board sessions. Now that's interesting. It doesn't say why either. That's sketchy. This entire thing has been stressing me out so much because there's so many people that are telling me not to do it, but then there's so many people that want me to do it. And I understand that that's just for YouTube purposes, but I don't know. Don't talk or provoke spirits. Entering the dialogue with a manner of respect. Don't demand spirits answer you. So, okay. So I'm seeing the word spirits a lot. I haven't seen like the word demon or anything or anything like that. So that's good. But it might get more into that with the terrifying stories. I haven't read any of this yet. So all of this is like first time reaction and like we're in this together. So don't taunt or provoke spirits. Enter the dialogue with a manner of respect. Don't demand spirits answer you. Taunt or make disparaging statements, not arguments, sorry. Treat any spirits you encounter with kindness and respect. Many people also feel provoking may cause angry spirits reactions or put you in touch with a negative entity. I like actually just got chills. Always close out the session. Now this one I heard about for sure. It's important to break the energy with any spirit you can contact by closing every Ouija session. Even if you don't think you have contacted a spirit or entity, it's important to close the session to dispel any energy you have built up. To do this, thank the spirit for communicating, let them know you are done, and then slide the planchette to goodbye. Turn the planchette and or board upside down and then put it away. People touching the planchette during the session may also wish to touch the earth to ground themselves or to run their hands under cold water to break any energetic connection. Always put the board away. Never leave a planchette sitting on a Ouija board and walk away because this leaves the energetic connection open. It's like Danny Phantom. Okay, so this is where it starts taking more of a dark turn. It says stop playing if the board starts behaving erratically. And this is the part that is gonna feel like I don't know how to feel about. Because, like, you see in all the movies of stuff like a vase flying off a dresser and, like, books falling over and stuff. And, like I said in the last video, I don't believe in that stuff. But, like, I don't know. Because, like, people say that happens and stuff. And, like, I don't know. Stop playing if the board starts behaving erratically. Many believe that if the board suddenly begins to behave erratically, you stop playing and close up the session because it may indicate the presence of a negative entity. Some signs it's time to end a session include if the planchette begins making figure eights on the board, which is the infinity symbol. Jeez. If the planchette begins counting down numbers or going through the alphabet either forwards or back, I will lose my mind. If for some reason part 3 doesn't come out and you just don't see me on social medias or anything, contact my family. Look for me. I am being serious. If the planchette makes a rainbow arc back and forth between two letters, numbers, or responses. If the planchette spells out the name Zozo, Zaza, Zo, or Abacus, wonder why. If the planchette flies off the table, or anytime you feel uncomfortable, wonder why that Zozo thing. Identifying the warning signs of Zozo, the Ouija board demon. Okay. So yep. So there's demons. Okay, who is Zozo, the Ouija board demon? What am I getting myself into? First off, nobody knows who or what Zozo is. However, people have come into contact with Zozo have extreme negative experiences. Jeez. Some of these experiences include bad luck, depression, thoughts of suicide, and in some instances, rape. It is speculated that the demon could be an incubus or succubus due to the high rate of people who experience paranormal sexual encounters. What the... Zozo, the Ouija board demon, has been known to go by the name Zozo, Zaza, Mama, Oz. It's OZ, so I don't know if it's Oz or like O's. Z-O, so Zo, Za, and Abacus, A-B-A-C-U-S. In Manuel A. Mallett's 1906 book, The Infernal Dictionary, Zozo appears under the name of the demon known as Pazuzu. I've heard of that from somewhere, but I don't know where. There was also reference to this entity being a soul stealer. According to an early 1900s article, Brooke Kenilworth had her soul stolen by her husband Zozo, who was mystic. This information here is on livesci-fi.tv, by the way. All the links to everything I'm using will be down in the description too if you guys want to check it out yourself. All credit goes to them. Everything that I'm reading all goes to them. It is important to know that even though Zozo is strongly associated with the Ouija board, many have reported contact with Zozo by using other forms of spirit communication. People report they have made contact with this entity while performing pendulum sessions, automatic writing, electronic voice phenomena, and even spirit photography. I have picked up numerous EVPs of an entity proclaiming itself as Zozo through my voice recorder. Was it Zozo? Well, I hope I don't find out who Zozo is. Okay, now these are some of the guidelines. So just like tips and stuff, and like certain like when you should and shouldn't do it and such. So number 1 is use a light touch. Place your fingers only very lightly on the planchette. Use only the tips of the middle and index finger of each hand. You should easily be able to slip a piece of paper or shine a light between your fingertips and the planchette. This can help eliminate the idiometer effect, or the other person intentionally moving the planchette. So it's because on the bottom of it's like a plastic, almost like triangular piece like this, or I think it has like a curve at the bottom, so like this, almost like an upside down heart. And then it has a circle on it with like a clear plastic so you can see like what letter it's on. And it has like 3 little studs on the bottom that have felt on it so it slides easier on the board. Rule number 2, don't play when you're afraid. Okay, so that isn't probably gonna happen because I'm probably gonna be afraid, because spoiler alert, where me and Brandon want to do this is in a forest in the middle of the night. That's where we want to do it, and that's where we're planning on doing it. So yeah, I don't know, we'll figure that out. Rule number 3, or guideline number 3, I guess. Be patient. Be patient and don't get discouraged. Sometimes it takes a while to connect, or for any entities to begin moving the planchette. The planchette may move very slowly sometimes, which is fine. If this is the case, make sure you have a third person acting as a scribe to record the letters as they arise. Remember the role of the Ouija board. According to Jordan, my middle name, her top guideline for using the Ouija board. The Ouija board is not anymore. I love the name Jordan on girls. Anyway, the board is not any more dangerous than any other piece of paranormal investigative equipment. Okay. The board is not any more dangerous than any other piece of paranormal investigative equipment. It is a communication device that can be utilized in 2 ways. A, as a paranormal communicative device that allows contact with external stimuli, i.e. ghost, spirit, ET, extraterrestrials. ET and or B. I don't know what B means. As a big word, as a parapsychological communicative device that allows more intimate contact with yourself, psyche, subconscious, and your consciousness. She suggests users to keep this in mind as they work with a Ouija board. Thanks, Jordan. Making the most of a Ouija session. A Ouija board is one tool many people use to communicate with spirits. By following some guidelines and basic safety rules, you can make the most out of your session, and even gain some valuable information. This really interests me because if I do come into contact with like a spirit, I wonder if it's gonna be like, because you can ask how old it is, and like that's what some of the tips I've read before are, is that you should ask its age and such, and you should ask its age like to see if it's like a human spirit. You can ask if I had a job, which scares me. You'd be like, yeah, I worked at Walmart. I was a greeter. My name was Jim. 37. I drove a Honda Civic to work every day. I loved my wife Linda. I had 2 kids. 2 beautiful kids, John and Emma. I don't know why I said Honda Civic. Honda Civic is such like a, I don't know, it just reminds me of like families and such. I don't know. So here are all some of the questions to ask. What is your name? What year did you live? That will be a cool one. If I like come into contact with a spirit, and it's from like 18 in the 1800s or like 1900s or anything, like early in the 1900s. Oh, 1997. That'd also be cool. If I come in contact with anything at all, that'll be awesome. But like, and I promise you, I pinky swear, and I don't break pinky promises. I pinky swear, I will not fake anything about these videos. Not one thing. What is your name? What year did you live? Where are you from? Did you have a job? Did you have a family? And then how many like children? What were their names? Do you remember the Civil War? Okay, so you're supposed to be asking like if it remembers like certain major events and such. Were you a citizen? Are you alone? Who is with you? I hope I'm alone. I'm in a dark room right now with all the lights turned off. I mean, there's a cat over there, but that's about it. So right under the "Are you alone? Who is with you?" It says asking about unknown information that like it would have. And the example given is, what is my grandfather's middle name? Now, for those of you who don't know, both of my grandfathers, as in like my actual grandfather, like my birth grandfather, so like my dad's dad and my mom's dad, have both passed away. So I don't think I want to include them in this any way, shape, or form. Just because I'm not exactly sure like what their beliefs were, or like anything. I don't know if this will. I don't know. I'm not including any passed away family members with this. I'm not. that actually like shook me a little bit reading the thing about the grandfathers. Cause that hits home. Like that's close. If you've ever like had a grandfather or like any family member that's close to you pass away, it's not the most fun. This one's interesting. This one says, did I have a past life? Where, when, what was my name, and what did I do? I hope I was like a firefighter or something. Questions to avoid. Am I going to die? When am I going to die? That one, no way. I'm not gonna ask. I don't want to know. And am I sick? Whether you believe in the Ouija or not, you should be careful about what questions to ask the board. There are some you should avoid. Offensive or frightening questions may entertain your guests, but the responses you receive could upset you and other participants. If knowing the future will frighten you or cause worry, then be careful what you ask. It says that in quotations, as in like I wonder if like that's ever like came true. Like if anyone's ever like asked the Ouija board when it's gonna die, and then like it was actually accurate, you know, because that would be insane. Okay, so now what I'm going to get into is 20 terrifying and true Ouija board stories. From what I know, these are pretty short. I'm just going to read a few of them. This is on thoughtcatalog.com. It says that she sourced these true Ouija board stories from Reddit. These are truly scary tales of a Ouija board stories gone wrong. So the first one, its main like caption is, "My first mistake was insulting it. My friend had mentioned that she had one, so I asked her to pull the board out so I could check it out. At first she said no, and then agreed to do it as long as she didn't have to participate. After she had the board set up, I asked, 'Is there anyone in here?' Nothing. So being a dumb teenager, I said, 'If anything is in here and you're not talking, you're a coward.' The board was put away after that. That's one thing I will not be doing. I will not be taunting the board in any way, shape, or form. I'm going into this with the most like I may make a few jokes here and there, but like not when I have the Ouija board out and I'm using it, because I'm not in any way, shape, or form going to be like trying to disrespect this Ouija board or anything like that, because like that's just dumb. Fast forward about a week later, I'm upstairs sleeping on my couch. I wake up on a stereotypical stormy night. Thunder and lightning, wind and rain, the works. I look around to see why I woke up and couldn't see a thing, and decide to try and fall back asleep. After laying there for about 30 seconds, I hear from downstairs, "Get the boy," in a very raspy, wispy voice. I open my eyes and listen. Nothing. Start to go back to sleep. "Get the boy!" It was much louder this time. Then downstairs, the door slammed shut. I freaked the F out, because nobody slept down there and we had no drafts. That's where the story ends. There's not much to that, but that's that's terrifying. If I end up being able to hear stuff and like see stuff move and stuff, that is going to be insane. Like I can't even fathom that happening to me like that. Like there's it's crazy that people have actually like had these experiences. So they say. I'm not saying that they're true, obviously, because there's no way of telling. But I'm gonna go on to this other one. This one's a little bit longer. This one is about a creepy doll. So I'm getting like an Annabelle vibe from this. I have a terrifying story about a Ouija board. I got a call from my cousin who said that he, his brother, his dad, and his best friend were using a Ouija board in their basement. Prior to starting, they took a large porcelain doll out of the room because it was creepy and placed it in an adjacent room face down on a pile of towels. My cousin took a short break because the board was just spouting nonsense and he went to take a shit. Lit. His dad and brother and friends started asking the board questions without him. One of the questions was who is in the other room. It just started spouting random numbers, and when my cousin came back into the room, his brother said that it wasn't working, that they were going to put it away, and he showed him the answer to the last question, and he said, "Dude, that's my social security number." Then they started to talk to whatever started spewing answers out. They told my cousin that he would die in the Air Force. At this point, they tell the entity they are communicating with to prove itself. It then spelled out the word doll, and they were like, what the Wow. They opened the door to check on the porcelain doll they had laid in the room, and when they opened the door, the doll was standing up right front of the door staring at them. Everyone freaked out and ran out of the house. My best friend burned the Ouija board, and he temporarily went nuts for a few months, as one should. My cousin, for some reason, then joined the Air Force and is on a base in Europe right now. Do you think that, like, it could, like, alter your thoughts and, like make you, like, want to do things in order to go through with things that it says and such? So this is the last one I'm going to read. It's called June 24th. My girlfriend told me this story about an experience she had with a Ouija board while in high school sometime in 1986. She had a friend named Johnny who was suffering from CF or some other debilitating illness, who had recently been hospitalized as a result with CF. CF is cystic fibrosis. It is a progressive genetic disease, causes persistent lung infections, and limits the ability to breathe over time. In people with CF, a defective gene causes a thick, sticky buildup of mucus in the lungs, pancreas, and other organs. Okay. Both she and her friend Shelley visited Johnny regularly in the hopes of keeping his spirits up for a quick recovery. One night after visiting Johnny, they were at Shelley's when they decided to try out a Ouija board. After a while, they started communicating with a spirit who seemed to know a lot about them that it really shouldn't. After some banal questions about boys and general questions one would expect teenage girls to ask, my girlfriend decided to ask about Johnny and his condition. The board quickly spelled out 24th of June 1987, Johnny won't have to worry anymore. And then went to goodbye. My girlfriend and Shelley were so convinced the board was giving them a date for recovery that they actually wrote the message down and sealed it in the envelope. The following year, on June 24th, it turned out that Johnny indeed no longer needed to worry about his condition. It was the day that he died. Okay, so that's twice of this is giving me chills now. It was the day that he died. If this thing just randomly tells me the day that I die, I'm gonna be so shook. Like, that's terrifying. Like, could you imagine? I'm sorry to just second guess all of this. Like, this is actually insane. So this is what I've gotten from all of this. Be respectful. I shouldn't do it alone. And don't ask it when I'm gonna die. What I want you guys to do is I want you to go down in the comments below. Comment some of the questions that you guys want me to ask the ghost. The ghost. Comment down some questions what you guys want me to ask it if I do come in contact with anything. Obviously respectful questions. Like, this whole thing, like, I know my first video introducing all this was like funny and everything, and like I made a joke, but like that's not what I want this to be. Like, I don't want this to be something like that. I want this to be like serious and like, I don't know. I think something crazy could happen. Hopefully good, but I don't know. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, and if you want to see more stuff like this, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, guys, peace out. Yo, so I just finished that Ouija board video, like recording it, and I go to play Xbox, and I turn on my monitor, and it's broken. I've had this monitor for years, and nothing's been wrong with it, and all of a sudden now it's broken. Interesting.